Now, I'm wondering if there are any common pitfalls you see with regard to work experience or with regard to resume building, aside from doing things just because you think it'll look good for admissions.
Right, right.
One thing that comes to mind is I encounter a lot of applicants who value the LSAT so highly
Yeah,
that they want to study for it full time
yeah,
for 3 to 6 months. Now,
right,
obviously, that doesn't look amazing on a resume, but the increase in one's LSAT score could potentially more than make up for it. At least someone
right.
could argue that. So I'm wondering if you would consider that a bad decision, and if there, whether yes or no, if there are any common pitfalls you see.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's not for me to say what someone's good or bad decision is. Um, that said, you will have to explain that gap in your resume. So, for example, on the Boston University application, when they ask you to submit the resume, they ask you to explain any gaps in that resume, that are greater than, 1 or 2 months. And so if you are taking, if you're quitting your job in July so that you can study for the September, November LSAT full time, that's going to be a gap that you're going to need to explain. And, I agree with you that improving your LSAT score, again, as we said earlier, is certainly going to open doors, both admissions and scholarship dollar wise. But there has to be more to what you're doing in that time period than just studying full time for the LSAT. And so whether that is, whether your interests are volunteering, or your interests are playing in a band, or, training for a road race, or, dancing, or, however, an admissions committee is going to be interested to know that while you are studying for the LSAT, you are also capable of having a full and complete life and doing this other things. Because again, when we're thinking about people being successful in law school, that sense of balance and life balance is really important. And so when you are in law school, while we anticipate and expect and hope that law school is going to be your focus, we also hope that you are going to be able to balance all of the demands that are on you. And so to be able to show that, while you're studying for the LSAT, I think is important, and convey that, whether it's in your resume where, when you're writing your resume, if you have gaps like that, you need to explain them. And whether you explain it right on the resume or you explain it with an addendum, you need to do that. And so when I'm working with clients, and when I was at BU and talking with prospective applicants about, components, I would always say the resume, it's not a business resume. It's not like a one-page, bullet points. It's almost like a CV. It's almost, that curriculum vitae, where you're incorporating more information than you would normally give in a regular business resume. And that's helpful, again, to expand your narrative and to inform the admissions committee of who you are and who they're ultimately enrolling.
Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.